Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix a gimbal ratchet. It's actually quite simple. I picked this one up because it was cheap. This one and the actual ratchet from the set were not working at all. They were seized. So that's why I picked them up so cheap. So we'll get started. So what you want to do is you want to get whatever wrench is necessary for your tool. This happens to be a Husky, so it needs a T15 star. Craftsman's other tools basically might look a little different, but in the inside, the mechanism of them are exactly the same. The pin might look a little different, but in essence, they're all the same. So you want to grab your channel locks or pliers or whatever you like to prefer to use, and then just clamp it down here. Take your tool, put it up top, and then take your ratchet right over top. And then this one I have loosened already, so I don't need to use my tool. So now that I got it loosened enough to do it with my hands, just simply undo it. I like to keep my fingers on top of the plastic here in case it decides to fly off, which it shouldn't, but you never know. And then take the top and remove it very carefully. Once you do that, then you can see what the inside looks like. So this is a pin. This is going to go here, and this is the pin that makes it change directions for the other pin under it. And it's shaped like a heart. And so this pin right here goes to the bottom of the heart there. And as you turn it from left to right and right to left, it will change directions. To remove it, just simply hold on to the bottom and pull this straight up. Now, when I first got it and it wasn't working, when I pulled it off, that stuck with it. Not only stuck with it, but I couldn't get it off with my fingers. So I took a hammer and a pin and I lightly tapped it, very light, I didn't want to break it, and it came right off. Okay, so once it came right off, I cleaned it up, cleaned up the inside here, and re-greased it up. This is a pin. This is the one that looks like a heart. It does come out. So if you happen to be moving a little fast and you take it out because you want to clean it and you drop this and then you pick it up and you go, oh no, I forgot which way it goes. If you look here at the very top, it tells there's a T, so that's the top. It's very simple. To put it back in, you just squeeze the pin together, insert it in the hole, and it's ready to go. Now this one's all cleaned and greased up already, so I'm just going to put it back together. As you can see, the bottom part here, this is where your ratchets will go into. There's a bump here, and this side doesn't have a bump. You just line it up like so, and take your bottom part here and line it up. These have very, very fine teeth right there, and you line it up with the grooves, and it goes right in. It's very simple as it looks. I always position the heart right towards the center. I'll take my pin and I line it up with the exact center. And once I put it on there, I push it this way. As you can hear, it clamped in. And then hold it with your other finger so you can tighten it up. And then simply screw it back in. And I always like to do it by hand, so I can feel the torque. As you can hear, it's already working. And give it a nice tight. You can use your wrench. You don't want to over tighten though. Once you do that, you test it. I'm going to switch directions. Doesn't allow me to go this way, but it will allow me to go the opposite way. It turns whichever way I want it to turn. And it's a really neat tool. I like to use it, especially if I'm doing spark plugs or something where I want to feel the torque in my hands. I don't want to over tighten or cross thread anything. So I use this. The ratchet was the same way, same thing. Basically, what happened. So I took off this pin that actually goes in here, and the way you do that is there's a tool they sell for that you just put it in the hole, squeeze it together, pull it out, pull it back in. When you're done, you can get it out without that tool. Most likely this thing will end up flying across the room. So just be very careful. put your hands over top of it, and then you could pop it off. It's not that easy because it moves around, but the tool, you can buy it at one of those cheap places, and it's a couple dollars, and it's well worth the headache. So this thing doesn't go flying across town, and then you can't find it. Once you take that off, this is a metal cap that comes off. Okay. And this has a little rubber right there. I noticed that. So when you take it off and clean it, that little rubber part is going to come off. Make sure you don't lose it. And right in here, in this mechanism in here, there's the pins. So these pins, when I first got this tool, these were stuck over here. And they were so jammed up and impacted with debris and probably just sitting around, and it just got caked up. I couldn't move this anyway. So once I took it all out and cleaned it, as you could see, it changes direction with no effort. And this is what allows you to go from left to right and right to left. So to remove this, just simply pick this up, straight right up, and these two pins will just fall off. If they don't, just carefully remove them, clean them, grease them all up, put them in first, and then you can set this back down inside. This does not go in as easy as your gimbal tool. You have to actually put it in, push towards the pin, get it in past the first pin, and then that other second pin that sits right below it from the other side, you can push it in a little bit and then get it in the rest of the way. Once you do that, you're basically done. Put your lid back on, make sure your little washer's in there, and then use your tool or shove it back in there by hand. And it's, you know, and it's not difficult to do it by hand. Putting it in is way easier than taking it out. You can basically use anything to get it back in. But anyway, it's always good to use the tool. And the reason for that is these metal clips kind of wear down a little bit, and they're very stiff. So if you try to get them back to where they used to be, it'll just break in half because they're very brittle. And that's it. That's as simple as that. Thank you for watching.